Welcome back. This is episode 5 of the 7-part series examining Ontario's proposed modernization of the Private Security Investigative Services Act, or PSISA. So far in this series, we've looked at scope, oversight, complaints, and enforcement powers. In this episode, we're focusing on something foundational: licensing, training, and professional standards. Because no matter how strong enforcement powers are, no matter how fair the complaint system is, if licensing and training are unclear, inconsistent, or unevenly applied, the entire framework and our industry breaks down. Licensing is the front door to the profession. It determines who is authorized to provide security service, exercise authority, and interact with the public in environments where risk, conflict, and liability are real. Training determines how that authority is exercised, and professional standards determine whether security is either treated as a legitimate public-facing professional public safety partner or a loosely defined function with uneven expectations and minimal accountability. When licensing standards are weak or outdated, the entire profession is judged by its weakest examples. Strong, consistent licensing ensures that the professional security is not reduced to the perception of the lowest common denominator. It protects public trust, and it protects the credibility of those doing the job properly. As part of the modernization, the ministry is examining whether to update licensing requirements, review mandatory training content, reassess how competency is evaluated, and explore ongoing education or recertification models. This reflects an acknowledgement that the role of security has evolved while the regulatory framework has not kept pace. Security professionals today are expected to manage conflicts, mental health crises, deal in high-density public spaces, and make legal decisions or decisions having legal consequences under stress. One of the greatest risks is licensing reform is setting for minimal viable compliance. Short courses and written tests may establish baseline knowledge, but they do not prepare the individual to de-escalate, make defendable decisions in real time, recognize when force is justified, when it's not, and be able to protect people, property, or information. Training designed solely to issue a license does not protect the public or the perception of private security. It only creates an appearance of regulation. That point is critical. It only creates the appearance of regulation. If an organization provides security services, whether through a private contractor or an in-house security team, the regulatory expectations must be the same. Any entity deploying security personnel should be required to meet the same agency-level licensing standards as a private security company. From the public's perspective, the risk doesn't change. Authority is authority, uniforms are uniforms. Decisions carry the same consequences. When in-house and contracted security are held to different standards or oversight, the profession is measured by the lowest bar that exists. Constant licensing and agency licensing prevents professional security from being defined by its least prepared operators. Not all security roles carry the same exposure, and licensing must reflect that reality. Concierge desks, mobile patrols, hospital settings, nightlife and nightclubs, events, major public offices, each demand different competencies. A modernized framework should recognize tiered licensing aligned to role and risk, clear expectations tied to operational environments, training requirements matched to the actual duties. Without this structure, highly trained professions are indistinguishable from the minimally trained ones, and the entire field is judged by that minimally trained individual. One-time training at the point of licensing is just not enough. Skills decay, laws evolve, threats change. Modern security work is not static, and regulation cannot assume that competency, once demonstrated, is permanent. That's why continuing education must be embedded into the licensing framework. Continuing education points ensure licensed professionals stay current, refresh skills, maintain decision-making competencies, and reinforce ethical and professional standards. This model already exists across most of the regulated professions. Its purpose is not punishment, it is competency maintenance. Not all security license should be treated as equal. A modernized PSISA should consider graduated licensing, similar in concept to graduated driver licenses. In that model, entry-level licenses establish baseline competencies, but advanced licensings require additional training and expertise. Applied to security, this could mean foundational licenses for low-risk environments and advanced licenses for higher contact or higher risk roles. Graduated licensing makes the profession more visible. It ensures that advanced capability is recognized rather than diluted by flat standards. Graduated licensing allows qualified security professionals to be more easily and confidently integrated into public safety responses. Police, fire, EMS, and emergency management partners need clarity on who they're working with, what training have these individuals had, what decisions can they make, what's the limit of the authority. Tiered licensing communicates this instantly. Security becomes a known capability, not an unknown variable. Strong licensing and training must be paired with clear, defendable professional standards. Frontline personnel need clarity around authority, boundaries, expectations, and evaluation criteria. Ambiguity creates hesitation, inconsistency, and risk. Clear standards protect the public, the security practitioner, and the integrity of the regulatory system and the private security industry. When licensing and training fall short, frontline workers absorb the risk. They're expected to make split-second decisions, often with limited preparation, and then face scrutiny after the fact. Modernizing PSISA means aligning expectations with preparation. Anything less is unfair and unsafe. So these are not final answers. These are just starting points for the conversation. Strong licensing does more than regulate the entry. It ensures that professional security is not reduced to the perception of the lowest common denominator, and that those who invest in competence, judgment, and training are recognized for it. PSISA modernization will shape this industry for years, and the most important voices in that process are the people on the front line. If you are one of those people, your experience and your thoughts matter. As a reminder, the ministry is accepting comments until January 21st. You can submit your feedback directly to them, or if you want, you can share your thoughts and recommendations and experience with us, and we will include it as part of our submission. Thank you for watching this video, and please, everybody, stay safe out there.